てきて、この画面はどうやってみんな、これどうやって画面をみんな、やり方。hello, do you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Good. Hello.
Sorry,
Hello.
we have had a big technical problem. Do you hear me well, Olya?
Yes, it's okay. Hello, Professor Nonaka-san. Hello to all Japanese students and all Ukrainian students, and hello to Lidya Vasilyevna. It's okay, and we gather for our round table. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the trouble and delay. Toko helped me a lot. Okay, so I have wasted some minutes. So let me hand the chairship to Katya and Toko. Okay.
Uh, Hi. So I'm so glad that I can moderate this discussion. So, Katja, can you start it, please?
Yes. So good morning or good evening to everyone. Greetings to our professors, greetings to our participants. We are going to work in a very special format today. The professors are not going to direct this discussion, but Toko and I will help you, and we have prepared a list of topics that we would like to discuss with you. Because over the course of our seminars, there have been a lot of topics that we found very interesting, that gave us a lot of ideas, that we would like to explore in more depth today. So today is the day for your comments, your ideas, your associations, everything that maybe you thought about during our seminars, but you haven't had a chance to voice. And I will ask Toko to explain the rules of our discussion.
Yes. So in the beginning, I'll talk about this, the role of discussions. So if you have any comments, please raise your hands in Zoom and use the reaction button. And I and Kasha will invite you to speak. And please keep your answer under 3 minutes so everyone can have a chance to speak. I'm sorry for the technical problem again, but I'm really glad to hear your reactions. And lastly, please be kind and respect for each other. I know we are keep doing really well, so please keep it.
Yes, thank you so much. And to start our discussion, we would like to suggest to you a little icebreaker. So we will ask students from each university to choose a picture that best represents their country. So you will have a chance to share your screen, and then we'll ask you to make a short comment on why you chose this picture, why it's important to you, what associations it brings to you with your country. Yes, Julia wants to share, so please, Julia.
Yes. So give me permission to share the screen. Good. So I will show you 3 photos that describe Ukrainian traditions, because for me, traditions are an integral part that preserves our unique culture. So in the first photo, you can see how people are dressed in costumes and masks, and they are celebrating Malanka's Day or Generous Eve. And that's Ukrainian national and church holiday. That's the evening of the New Year, and Saint Vasil Day, January the 1st. And I've chosen it because it's full of symbols and full of traditions, because in this day, Malanka as a symbol of water, of all the elements and especially water, comes to a generous evening together with Vasil as a symbol of moon to inform the hosts about upcoming celebration and to make feasts. And it's customary to dress up as a folklore characters you can see on the picture. And it shows how we preserve our culture, Ukrainian culture. And girls in this day start fortune telling, and the boys stole doors or gates from their houses. And unmarried boy change into woman dress and becomes Malanka, and a girl into man dress as an image of Vasil. And among the actors, there are like old man and old woman, a gypsy, a goat, a devil, and in masks and costumes, people go from house to house and entertain passers-by with dances and jokes. Yes, and then you can see how Ukrainians celebrate Ivan Kupala night, an extraordinary ancient holiday. It was, for me, in my childhood, was the best holiday because it's full of traditions. And in the picture, you can see a tradition when unmarried girls weave wreaths and launch them on water. And a wreath that flows far predict a wedding, and the one that drowns means another year of a single life. And actually, also in my childhood, I tried to search for a fern flower, which according to legend blooms only on Kupala's night. In the old style, it's a June 24th. And it's like, according to tradition, this flower has magical power, and whoever plucks it can understand the language of animals and plants and see hidden treasures.
Yes, Julia, thank you so much for the pictures that you chose. Thank you. It was very insightful for us to learn about Ukrainian holidays. And right now, I would like to ask other students to join us and to talk about their pictures. So please, let's share some more opinions. Yes, Vlad, please.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'll just try to share my picture. Yeah, so I hope you can see it now. I hope you can see my picture. So I decided to choose this very simple and very basic picture, actually, for maybe for many Ukrainians and maybe some Japanese students have already seen it. But I think that this very simple picture represents a lot how the Ukraine looks itself. So it is basically a wheat field and the clear blue sky, which is basically the colors of the Ukrainian flag. And for many Ukrainians, this colors and these things, they have a lot of meanings in it. Yeah. So for example, the clear blue sky can represent peace, which became very important concept and idea for us at this times. And also the wheat field represents, I mean, for me, represents the fertility of the Ukrainian land and also represents the hard-working spirit of the Ukrainians themselves, because it takes a lot of effort to work in that field. And just generally, I think that this picture itself, it contains a lot of Ukrainian symbols in it and a lot of meanings for each of us. So I decided to choose this picture. And yeah.
Thank you, Vlad. It's a meaningful picture and these are meaningful colors. And I would like to ask perhaps some Japanese students to share their ideas and pictures. So if you want to share something special from your country, please.
I'm Yushi Nakatsuka, and I think that you show the wheat flowers picture of the Ukrainian. That is a symbol of Ukraine, I understand. But Japanese people also regard the Japanese rice plant as the symbol of Japan. So the money's coin of 5 yen, the picture of 5 yen is written in about the Japanese rice plant, so that those kind of focusing on the rice plant or wheat flour is also same thing for Japanese people and the Ukrainian people. That is a point of agriculture. That is my comment. Thanks for your good picture of Ukrainian. Thanks.
Thank you, Yushi. It is so interesting to learn about these plant symbols and how they are included into our daily lives. Okay. Does anyone else want to make a comment or share their picture? Okay, Alexei, I think this will be the last picture and then we'll move on to the next topic. So please share.
Yeah, of course. Good day, everyone. Hope you can hear me well. I have 3 pictures for today. They not necessarily represent Ukraine as a whole, but the realities and the things that are happening in it currently. I hope you can see my screen, and that here is a picture of phosphorus rain. It would be pretty if it wasn't a war crime by our enemies that are sending it on us. They sent it a lot during the first days of the war. However, even because of all of this, I still am able to see a lot of beauty in our land. When you just go out and find it, you will. And it's just as simple as that. Additionally, I wanted to show you guys a picture from my first ever week of attending my great university and how fun it was to be a student, how wonderful it was to create new memories. And I hope that all of you can relate that your first time being in university, it was something to remember. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexei. Unfortunately, our reality right now is scary, but we persevere. We try to find beauty and joy in our days, and we are going to continue to do what we can.
Thank you for sharing the beautiful pictures. So I'm gonna ask you about next topic. The next topic is traditional symbols of Japan and Ukraine. So anyone can introduce your traditional symbol. Please raise your hand. So please,
Okay, so I
sorry,
can start, right?
I'm sorry.
I want to start with Vyshyvanka. This traditional Ukrainian embroidered shirt has been already discussed during our seminars, but I can do nothing but mention it today as well, as it is a powerful symbol with deep cultural and symbolic significance. In fact, Vyshyvanka is a symbol of Ukrainian national identity and pride, and it is often worn on special occasions, celebrations, and cultural events to express connection to Ukrainian heritage and traditions. Historically, an embroidered shirt was believed to have protective qualities, ward off evil spirits, and bring good fortune. And each embroidered motif often carries specific symbolism related to fertility, health, protection, and spirituality. The next symbol in Ukraine is kalina, which is also known as Gelder rose in English. It is a symbolic plant in Ukrainian culture, and it holds a special place in the heart of the Ukrainian people. Kalina is known for its vibrant red berries, which appear in the late summer. It is often associated with positive themes such as love, beauty, and prosperity. Its common motif in traditional songs and poems, and it may be used to symbolize the homeland or the beauty of a beloved woman. However, sometimes red berries may symbolize the courage of people who shed blood for their homeland in the fight against enemies. Therefore, Kalina symbolizes courage in the struggle for our independence and a need to fight for human freedom and dignity. And the last symbol for today is rushnik. It is a traditional Ukrainian embroidered towel, and it plays an essential role in various Ukrainian celebrations, especially weddings. It is used to cover the couple during the wedding ceremony, symbolizing unity, protection, and the creation of a new family. Also, rushnik is used in other wedding rituals, such as the traditional greeting of the newlyweds by their parents. And during some religious ceremonies, rushniks are used to cover and hold objects, for example, bread. and they are believed to bring blessings and protections to the items they cover. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Eugenia. Next, Karina, please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I also wanted to say a couple of things about ruchnik because it's really important in Ukrainian culture. And I wanted to say that generally it is a piece of clothes and it is usually embroidered, and it is believed that embroidery on ruchnik is enhancing its power. And I also wanted to add that it is oftenly was used when a son from a family in Ukraine went to a long journey, and his mother would give him ruchnik as a symbol of protection. And also during the wedding, there is now even a custom that a ruchnik is placed under the feet of a couple, and whoever first stands on it will be the head of the family. And if you don't mind, I would also like to ask Japanese students if there is something similar in your culture, some object or scene that represents so much and that is valuable to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Lynn, please.
To answer like the question, I think the Japanese like a symbol is personally I personally think that the like red circle like kind of on the Japanese flag is a like Japanese traditional symbol, and that means that like it symbolizes the sun, and like Japanese red and white are also traditional Japanese color and are considered to be auspicious. And it is said that red means benevolence and vitality, and white means holiness and purity. And the reason why like Japan like use the red circle was considered to the like Amaterasu, which is the ancestor of the imperial family, like who was the god of the sun. So, and the sun has been an object of faith since ancient times. So I think that like red circle on the Japanese flag, which means sun, is a kind of Japanese traditional symbol.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, the sun is both for Ukraine and Japan. The sun is a symbol for both country. Yeah, thank you for the great comment. So we ran out of time, so a little bit. I move let's move to next topic. Kasha, please.
Yes, thank you, Toko. I feel like every year I take part in these seminars, I always learn so much about Japanese and Ukrainian culture. And I'd like to continue this conversation and ask you about the wisdom of your people and the traditional sayings or proverbs that reflect the values of your nation. So please, if you want to speak, choose one proverb that you like about family, work, friendship, or love, and explain its meaning to us. I think it will be very, very interesting. Yes, Christina?
Okay, it's pretty obvious that the treasure of every folklore culture is saying and proverbs that continue long time wisdom of people. So I want to talk about three proverbs of each topic. So maybe I will start with work. It's pretty obvious that Ukrainians hold a strong work ethic, And it was not just a way to earn income, because our ancestors were farmers, and work was seen as a source of pride and personal fulfillment. And let's say that під лежачий камінь вода не тече. We can translate it as water doesn't fall under a lying stone, or as an English proverb, a rolling stone gather no moss. This proverb suggests the opportunities or success won't come to those who are inactive or just lazy, emphasizing the need for effort and work. Then about family. It's obvious that people's connection, people both cherish in Ukrainian culture. For example, шануй батька і неньку, то буде тобі гладенько. Respect your father and mother, and things will go easily for you. That emphasizing the importance of respecting and honoring parents for a successful and peaceful life. And about friendship. It's also is highly valid among Ukrainians, as seen in our proverbs. I will choose one. Без вірного друга велика туга. That can be translated as, without a true friend, there is great sorrow. That without support and comfort from your friend, you will be upset, you will feel a big sorrow without a person you can talk without, and with person who couldn't help.
Thank you, Christina. Yes, and I see some other students having their ideas. I can see that we have a lot of opinions, so I will ask all of our participants in the future to maybe choose one favorite proverb or one favorite saying, so that everyone can have a chance to contribute something. Karina, please.
Thank you. I wanted to mention a saying about working. Word for word, it would be translating like the bee is small, but it is also working. And the meaning of it, that is everyone should work. Life is incomplete without it, and it doesn't matter the size. It is matter the value and importance of your work and your actions, that how you contribute to it. So this saying emphasizes how it is important to work hard throughout your life. And if you don't mind, I wanted to ask Japanese students, because in our sayings about work, there is a lot of prevalence of animals in there. And I wanted to ask, do you have something or someone that prevails in your sayings? Thank you.
Yes, I feel like it's a really interesting similarity between our cultures, that animal symbols are very, very important. And even when Toko and I were discussing the proverbs, when we were preparing, we found a couple similar proverbs in Ukrainian and in Japanese. So for instance, in Ukrainian, we have a saying, if you are afraid of wolves, don't go to the forest. So if you don't take any risks, you won't achieve anything in life. And in Japanese, they say, if you don't enter the cave where tigers live, you can't catch a tiger cub. So maybe you are thinking about similar proverbs, or some proverbs that have animals in them. Maybe you've got some ideas while you were listening. Please, don't be afraid to share. Yes, please, Toko.
So let me share about my favorite one, and I think so. I now I translate it. 近道は遠回りってどうやって言うんですか？ haste takes weight. Haste. The haste takes waste. Waste. Yeah. And in Japanese, it means if you want to achieve something, you have to take a long time to do it, or not take any easy way, to choose the hard way to complete it, and then the goal you get will be more brightly. I think. For me, I often think about it. I thought more easily to doing my task, but when I do that, I finally found I waste a lot of time. Yeah.
So everything takes time. This is interesting, and I think we have similar ideas in our culture as well. Yoshi, I see your hand, so please tell us your thoughts.
Yes. I like Mr. Togo said the phrase of the if you want to go to success something, that means that if you want to do success, please take time or cost little by little. Then little by little doing is the only key of successing, is the meaning of Mr. Togo's phrase. And I like my favorite phrase is sometimes the monkey get off from the tree. Yeah, the monkey means professional. Yeah, sometimes professional people can not solve the problem or not a good thing. Yeah, so that this Japanese phrase of sometimes the monkey get off the tree means that we must think or try to develop our technique or ability time to time and every day. There is a phrase of Japanese, my favorite phrase of sometimes the monkey get off from the tree is thanks.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, are there any more proverbs or sayings that you would like to discuss? I think we have time for one more. Yes, Vlad, please.
Yes, if we have time for another one, I'll just would like to end this topic with the really beautiful one about love. And I think it's it's a bit international, I think. So it is that love is stronger than death. Yeah. And I would really love to know if the Japanese students can agree to that, or maybe if they use it in their culture, because I think that in Ukraine, it used a lot, and the symbolism of it is used a lot in songs or books, for example. So it's really interesting for me to know.
Okay, do they believe that love is stronger than death in Japan? What do you think? Is it true, or do you have a different perception of love?
It seemed kind of hard for Japanese student to think about it, but I also believe the love is stronger than the death, right? Yeah. So it's there's kind of stereotype in my view of Japanese people. They don't show their love directly, as there are one proverb like Japanese people express their love by saying like the moon is beautiful. It's kind of poetry, but yeah. But I think love is common, so I think we can understand the meaning of the proverb.
I see. And it is really interesting to me how the Japanese perceive love and how it's a little less direct, maybe, than in our culture, but it also has other meanings, maybe more nuanced meanings and more hidden meanings that it's interesting to decipher. And sometimes it's like a puzzle that you need to solve because the words that are being said are more indirect. Okay, thank you all for sharing. I think I have learned a lot from the sayings that you've mentioned, and I'll ask Toko to introduce the next topic.
Yes, next topic is about our national holiday and celebrations and the meaning for young people. Yes, Anna, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to start. I want to tell you about special holiday in Ukraine. It is Independence Day, which is celebrated annually on 24th of August. Independence Day of Ukraine, it is an important holiday that marks the country's separation from the Soviet Union, declared on 24th of August in 1991. The celebration is characterized by parades, concerts, and various cultural events across the country. The parade in Kiev is the largest and the most impressive festive event, which attracts thousands of spectators. And the day also features a variety of events that unite Ukrainians in the shared joy of celebrating independence. For Ukrainian young people, it is not only a holiday, but also a symbol of national unity and strong spirit. Young people consider themselves a part of their country's history, recognizing the difficulties of the past and believing in a bright future. And nowadays, this holiday is important because every day our people are fighting for the independence again. And unfortunately, after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, this magnificent holiday, this impressive holiday, is not celebrated as much as it used to be. But we believe that after our victory, the celebration of this annual holiday will be unforgettable. And I have a question to Japanese students. Do you have a holiday that is similar to Independence Day or Foundation Day? Thank you.
Thank you. It's sad to hear you lose the chance to celebrate the anniversary. So can I ask a Japanese student about it? So Danji, please.
Hello. Hello. There are Japanese national holiday. Honestly, don't remarkable than other countries. But Japanese national holiday has many long history and based on classic material called kojiki. Kojiki is Japanese Japanese history of multi-religion and culture and many several there we understand there are many different gods in Japan, and Japanese national holiday based on first Emperor Jimmu the ruled by first Emperor Jimmu in Japanese history. So Japanese continue to we mean our history mean Japanese history continue to history of emperor. Thank you.
Thank you, Danji. Yes, there we have a long tradition from historical book. And can I ask Maria?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I would like to share about one of the most significant holidays in Ukraine, which is Christmas. And in Ukraine today we celebrate Christmas on December 25. And there are many traditions associated with this holiday. And for example, the Christmas celebration begins on Christmas Eve, and family members cook Christmas dinner consisting of 12 fasting dishes that symbolize 12 apostles. And the main dish at the festival table is kutya, which is a mix of boiled, usually grains, honey, nuts, poppy seeds, dried fruits, and other toppings. And this dish is usually eaten first, and other dishes present at the Christmas table might include mushrooms, fish, vareniki, potatoes, etc. And the next morning after Christmas Eve is Christmas Day. On this day, the fasting ends, and Ukrainians go to church and visit their relatives. And another ancient custom is Christmas caroling or koleda. And during Koleda, children and young people visit their neighbors, relatives, and friends, singing traditional songs and giving the family's best wishes. And in return, hosts give Koleda participants presents such as sweets, fruits, and money. And Koleda participants wear traditional clothes and costumes, as it was already mentioned that really these traditional costumes are really important in Ukrainian culture, and they are also carried. They also carry a handcrafted star that symbolizes the star that had appeared when Christ was born. And Koleda begins on Christmas Eve and may last for several days. And Christmas markets in Ukraine, paying attention to Western European traditions, and Ukrainians started organizing Christmas markets as well. So you may find such markets, for example, in Lviv. The annual Christmas market is held basically at the Rynek Square, and in Kyiv we had it at Sofiivska Square.
Thank you. Every time I hear about how you're spending your Christmas and your holiday, like it makes me kind of positive, and sometimes it makes me really hungry. Thank you. Can I ask Harumi-san, please?
Yes, I think it is easier to image if I show our picture, so I will screen share our picture. In Japan, there is a coming age of day on the second Monday of January. In that day, each region holds a ceremony to celebrate becoming an adult. Although the age of adulthood in Japan is 18, 20 years old people participate in this ceremony. Most women who attend this ceremony wear kimonos, and most men wear suit. Kimono is a traditional Japanese costume, and there is a variety of colors as shown in this picture. So everyone wears a kimono which they like it. During the ceremony, there is a time to listen to the mayor's speech and take photo with friends. This day makes young people realize that they have become adult. Thank you.
Thank you, Harumi-san, for sharing Seijin Shiki in Japan. Can I ask Diana, please?
I want to tell you about holiday Ivan Kupala. Every year on the night of 6th July, Ivan Kupala Day is celebrated in Ukraine. Ivan Kupala is considered one of the most magical days of the year. So holding ceremonies in a mandatory part of its celebration. Adults and children perform traditional rituals with great enthusiasm. The main entertainments on the Kupala night are swimming, weaving wreaths, jumping over the fire, fortune telling, decorating a tree, and looking for a foreign flower. I can tell you the meaning of several traditions. For example, a couple who held hands and did not separate them, jumping off the fire, will definitely get married. And if a person's clothes caught fire, this is a sign that portends trouble. Unmarried girls will wreath and launch them into water bodies. A wreath that flows for predicts a wedding, and the one that drowns another year of a single life. By the way, special ceremonial dishes are prepared on Ivana Kupala. The Kupala menu includes barley porridge, dumplings with cherries, and kvass. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you for sharing your holidays. And I realize living in Japan, we rarely think about the meaning of the day we have, especially holiday, because we will take a rest that day, but we rarely think about. So I learned each day have its traditional meanings and the way to celebrate it. So thank you for sharing meaningful discussion. So I'll move to the next topic. Kasha, please.
Yes, thank you, Toko, and thank you to everyone who has shared their insights about their traditional holidays. I feel like over these months, we have listened a lot to the stories about our respective cultures. We have learned a lot about what is special in our cultures. We have listened to talks about Ukrainian and Japanese literature in particular. For example, I was really fascinated by the reports on Kenji Miyazawa and Yukio Mishima. And from Ukrainian side, we have talked about Taras Shevchenko and Ivan Franko and Ivan Kotlяревский. And I also really appreciated Toko's report about Taras Shevchenko and reading him in Japanese. So my question for everyone today is, which people do you consider to be geniuses in your cultures? This does not have to only relate to literature. This can be in many different spheres, for example, science or art or culture or history. So basically any prominent figure that you consider to be important and to have made a great contribution to your country. Marina, please.
Thank you. Greetings to everyone. And I would like to talk about the Ukrainian composer. It's named Mykola Leontovich. And during the winter season, we can hear the well-known melody that we usually associate with winter holidays, particularly with Christmas. The name of this melody is Carol of the Bells, or originally Shedrik. So the author of this melody, Mykola Leontovich, was born in December 13 in 1877 on the Western Ukraine. Besides the fact that he was a composer, he also was a teacher, a pianist, and a public figure. He was collector of the Ukrainian folklore. So he was a true patriot of Ukrainian culture. And I think that this is the main fact why his masterpiece is so well known in the whole world, because when people love their culture, they can make something really beautiful that represent the beauty of their culture to the whole world. So Mykola Leontovich said that he wanted to develop Ukrainian national culture relying on folklore and folk songs. So I want to ask you if you have some person that you considered to be the most representative for your culture, and explain your answer, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Marina. It is truly a very famous melody, the Carol of the Bells. And I have many friends who have heard this melody, but they often don't know that the author is Ukrainian. And I'll put the name of it in the chat as well. So if anyone wants to listen later, maybe find it on YouTube, you'll have a chance. Thank you. Okay, let me see. We've got some people who haven't said anything yet. So Renata, please.
Okay, so I would like to tell about really famous person in Ukraine, and it's Pavlo Chubinsky. It's Ukrainian scholar, ethnographer, florist, poet, translator, economist, but he is best known as author of the lyrics for the state anthem of Ukraine. And I would like to read a small part of it. So we will lay our soul and body for the cherished freedom. Cossack blood will raise the nation of the Jewish people. For the liberty the folk strives ardently from sun to dawn, and will let no alien power in our common home. So yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Renata. And the national anthem of Ukraine has an even more special meaning today, as it has become the symbol for our country and the spirit and the bravery of Ukrainian people. So these are not just words that exist somewhere on paper. These are words that are truly in our hearts and in our lives every single day. Thank you. Yoshi, I see your hand, or I'm sorry. Is it Yoshi who wants to speak?
Thank you. My name is Yuhei Nakaigawa. And can I share my screen?
You should be able to share your screen.
I'd like to introduce Tsuda Umeko. She's the pioneer of Japanese education, especially for women. She really worked hard for the female education when a time when men was very strong, and she became the next person who who are in the Japanese paper money. So I introduced her.
Yes, thank you, Yuhei. And I'll be very interested to Google Tsuda Umeko later and maybe learn some more about her, because this is a new name for me. And I don't know if she is very widely known outside of Japan. So I think this will be a very interesting opportunity for me to learn more about your culture. Thank you. Sophia, we haven't heard from you today, so I invite you to speak, please.
Thank you. I would like to tell about Katerina Belko. She is a famous artist in Ukraine. She was a representative of the so-called naive art, a group of artists who had no professional training but became part of the artistic process. Her paintings mainly featured flowers, and she often combined them spring and autumn flowers in one painting, creating a beautiful contrast. In addition to flowers, Belko also painted landscape and portraits. She began drawing as a child with a stick in the snow or on a wet path after the rain, but unfortunately her parents did not understand her passion for art. She was scolded for being lazy and punished for being forgetful when she became absorbed in drawing and forgot about her assigned work. She painted with whatever materials were available to her, creating works that she said came from her imagination. She made her own brushes by plucking hairs from a cat's tail and used natural dyes for color. Flowers embodied beauty for her, and she never picked them because she considered it to be a murder. When painting flowers, she would set up her easel near mallows or dahlia bushes. She would often walk for many kilometers until she found the flower she had in mind. Once she heard Oksana Petrushenko sing the song, "Was I Not a Vibragram in the Middle" on the radio. She was so impressed by the performance that she wrote a letter to the singer. She included a piece of canvas with her drawing in the envelope. Miraculously, the envelope reached Petrushenko, who was impressed by the drawing and showed it to her artist friends. In 1954, three of Belko's paintings, Tsar Kolos, Birch, and Kolkhoz Field, were included in the Soviet art expositions at the international exhibitions in Paris. There, Pablo Picasso saw them and spoke, "If we had an artist of this level of skill, we would make her..." Oh no. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. I'll put the name of Katerina Belakova in the chat as well. So if anyone wants to see her pictures, they can. And Maria, please.
I also would like to mention Grigory Skovoroda, who was a Ukrainian philosopher, and he is a tireless traveler, writer, educator, humanist, and also musician. And researchers of the life and teachings of Grigory Skovoroda agree that he somehow manages to remain close and modern for the new generations, despite the fact that several epochs have already changed. And in each new generation, there are people who have Skovoroda for their own, love him as a friend and honor him as a teacher. And the simplest but far from exhaustive explanation for this may be that Skovoroda was looking for and obviously found answers to questions what would never lose their relevance. So those questions are: what is happiness? How to be happy, and what is a good life? And the philosophers spread the ideas of equality, independence, and freedom, and it is in them that the ideological code of Ukrainians is located. And in the current war, the main component is the battle for Ukrainian identity, which the enemy has been targeting since the beginning of a full-scale war. But aggressors hunt for Skovoroda, but they can't catch him. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Maria. Unfortunately, Ukrainian literature and culture in general have been under massive attack, as well as our land and our physical buildings and the lives of our people. And I find it pretty important that during these seminars, we talk a lot about our culture. We make people from other countries acquainted with our culture, because it is a great way for ourselves and the world to realize that our culture and literature are truly valuable. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who has shared, and I would like to ask Toko to introduce the next topic.
Yes, thank you, Kasha. So next topic. So as Kasha said, we talk a lot about our culture and literature. So next topic is I want you to introduce your favorite modern films and your modern literature for young people. So anyone can share it. Anna, please.
Hi, everyone. And today I'd like to recommend you one of my favorite American writer, John Strelacki, and his really famous book, The Cafe on the Edge of the World. Probably you have already heard about it, but I want to talk about my own experience. So this book really impressed me because it made me think about my life and the purpose of my existence. In my opinion, it's not just a book, it's a special gift that can change everyone's attitude to life. So in this way, I suggest everyone to read this book because it will help you to understand more deeply yourself and the difficulties of the life. And also this book can motivate you to take actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Yes, we have our own books which can encourage ourselves. So if you don't mind, please share it on your chat. Then I want to check it. So Catherine, please.
Well, hello everyone. I think the topic of literature is quite interesting. And over the centuries, literature has been changed and new genres have appeared. And I'm very glad that nowadays young people are becoming more and more interested in books. Because in the future, these people are they are build a new world, and today there are a large number of young writers in Ukraine who knows how to interest and surprise the reader. And one of them is Maxim Kedruk, and his mystical novel, Don't Look Back and Be Silent. I choose this one for discussion because the novel touches upon the problem of communication between parents and children, teenage cruelty, and the problem of escapism, the desire to escape from reality. But unfortunately, this novel is not currently available in English translation, but it should appear soon. And I strongly recommend everyone to read it because the story is really fascinating. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask the Japanese students, is escapism common in Japan? And what do you think are the consequences of such escapes from reality? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I would like to ask Yuhei or please.
Hi, I'm Yushi Nakatsuka, and I want to introduce the youth literature writer Mr. Ryo Asai, who is a famous book of the justice of the sexual interest. In Japan, we must think about the problem of gender identity. Those kind of identities problem is very important for all over the world, but in the book of justice of sexual interest, there are many or some people whose sexual interest identity is not the human. So the book of Mr. Ryo Asai's, the main character's sexual interest is not human. Yeah, those characters' sexual interest is the object, like the fish or building or the water. But we cannot imagine those kind of characteristic sexual interest. But if we must think over the diversity contains those kind of the sexual interest identities people. So in my opinion, the book of written by Ryo Asai is a famous of youth people is a key to understand Japanese isolation identities problem. That is my opinion. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Yushi. I don't know if they have English translation of the old acai, but yeah, if they have, I want you to try it. It's kind of, yes, it's interesting, really. So Anna, please.
Hello, everyone. I think that I would like to recommend a book by South Korean writer Son Won-Hyun, and the name of the book is Almond. So this story follows about a life of a teenage boy who has a condition called alexithymia. So it means that he can't experience emotion, or he can't identify them. And throughout the novel, the reader can see the importance of emotions and how differently people tend to express them. Uh, it also emphasized the importance of emotion in our life and how communication is strongly tied with our emotion, how we express them, and how other people perceive them. So I think that book is really interesting for young people because it helps to understand how the friendship can be built and how the relationship can be built. And it's really important to us in our time because friendship and love really help us. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, it's always a problem for us to think about the friendship and our relationship. Please put it on your chat, please. And so next, Antonia, please.
Okay, thank you. So today I will tell you about literature and film in one because I will tell you about adopted novel. I will tell you about Кайдашева Сім'я. In Ukrainian, I think it's a quite popular and famous novel in Ukraine. So the author is Ivan Nechulevitsky, and he wrote this novel in 1978. I think it's unknown for you novel, so I will tell you a little bit about a plot. So the main topic, I think, of this novel is a depiction of the life and psychology of Ukrainian people, Ukrainian farmers in the first decades after the end of serfdom, with all its problems and difficulties, on the example of one family, only one family. May I show you my screen if it's suitable and possible? I want to show you some stills from serial. And you can see our actors and something new for you. So can you see my screen? Okay, so I will tell you a little bit about adoption. So this novel, Кайдашева Сім'я, will adopted into a serial in 2020, but directors changed a plot a little bit and make like a drama story. I think it's appropriate for this serial, and I personally watched the serial maybe twice, and I really like it, and I will recommend it to you. Maybe I write it in the chat because they have a different name. Serial have a different name, and maybe you will interested in it and share your ideas after our conference. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's great to know a lot books, so it seems I have to read a lot. And sorry for
thank you.
So Yuria and Vlada, we are running out of time, so we have to go to next topic. But please don't forget to put what you're gonna introduce to the chat. I'll check it later. So Kasha, please. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you so much to everyone who shared. And just to emphasize how relevant the story Кайдашева Сім'я or Kaidash family is for Ukrainians. I was just talking to a friend yesterday, and when we were talking about our families and our parents and our relationships, we mentioned the characters from this story. So it just shows you how relevant it still is for today's life and today's Ukrainians. And I found it really, really special. So thank you, Antonina, for mentioning that. And I would like to continue this discussion and ask Japanese students and Ukrainian students about different movies or perhaps TV series that have impressed you in recent years. So something that was special to you, something where you have found a new meaning for your life, and something that you would like to recommend to all of us to watch. Yes, Marina, please.
Okay, lately there is many beautiful films was made in this years, especially Ukrainian films from Ukrainian production, and I'd like to recommend you the film Dolbush. This is a fiction with some historical facts. In general, this is a story about the legend of Ukrainian Carpathians, whose name is Olexa Dolbush. The film shows how he was fighting against the brutal rule of the Polish nobility. And in historical period, it was 18th century. The idea to make this film appeared 11 years ago. So the premiere had to be on 2020, but the pandemic happened. And then it was postponed to 2022, but again, a full-scale invasion happened. So the part of the team was on the front lines, and in the end, the film was released last year on August 24. So it was on the Independence Day of Ukraine, what is really symbolic for us. And how do you think? Which films are more interesting, the modern films or the old ones?
Thank you, Marina. Maria, please.
Okay, so I would like to speak also about Ukrainian modern films and some tendencies. And nowadays, in modern Ukrainian films, one can trace such a tendency as the problem of self-identification and personality formation. And the spiritual journeys can be accompanied by physical ones. And I want to give an example of the film Homeward by Ukrainian film director Nariman Aliyev. And this film tells a story of Crimean Tatar Mustafa and his family. And Mustafa is to take his two sons home to Crimea, but the problem is that one of them is dead, and the elder son died of fighting in the war, which at that time had not yet gotten beyond Donbass, which is in the east of Ukraine. And the father wants to bury his son at home according to Muslim customs. Although it is not easy and it is dangerous because this place is under occupation. And the youngest son, Alim, who is used to living in free Kiev, is going home involuntarily only because it is necessary to bury the brother. And the way home is full of dangers and shadows of forgotten memories. At the end of the story, Alim, the son, is faced with a difficult choice to give up the life he is used to or never to see his father again. And the film has a powerful ending. And at the end, Alim is no longer a student boy, but a grown-up man. And as I said, this problem of growing up or self-identity is very popular in Ukrainian films, also in Dolbush, which was mentioned today. So I would like to ask Japanese students, do you have this problem of self-identification of growing up in your cinematography? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maria. This is definitely something to think about. And if anyone wants to answer this question, please raise your hand. Adriana.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, greetings to everyone. I'm a big fan of cinematography and I am into different movie genres. According to nowadays situation, I would not say that I've been astonished much with some movie, though there are good ones. Also, I've noticed the tendency that most of the modern films are the screening of the old ones, just with some new actors, new style, and additional plot lines. For instance, the movie Willy Wonka and his Chocolate Factory. The last one I've seen is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is not quite my cup of tea because I'm not into fantasy much, but though, however, the actors are convincing and play their role brilliantly. Besides, the color scheme is fabulous, and this movie shows us that if we have a strong belief and the truth is ours, we should stand still and fight for our goal. According to our situation in Ukraine, there are movies which were created even before the full-scale war, but they depicted some of the points in war. For example, the films like Little Kittens, Cyborgs, Sniper, White Raven, and so on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adriana. Yulia?
Hello everyone, I would like to share with you a modern Ukrainian film, There Will Be People. It is an Ukrainian epic drama. I hope that you can see my screen. The series consists of 12 episodes. Each episode is dedicated to a different character. The series is built in a form of saga and depicts the turbulent periods of the beginning of the 20th century through the eyes of ordinary people in Ukrainian village. The First World War, the Revolution, the emergence of Soviet regime, each of the characters faced with the changes in their own way through their conception of truth. However, all of them shared fundamental desire to live, love, and find their own place in new era. I chose this modern Ukrainian film because it is depicted a really tough way of Ukrainians to independence. So I can recommend you to watch this modern Ukrainian serial.
Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you for your wonderful preparation and for introducing us to this movie. So I suggest that we move on to the next topic because we are unfortunately running out of time. And Toko, can you please introduce it?
Yes, next topic is, so nowadays we face a lot of challenges and now Japan experienced the earthquake and you are in severe condition. So I want to ask you how you going to overcome it. Yes, maybe my way to explain is not enough. Yes, how to overcome it. So Anna, please.
So I'd like to talk about the environmental problems of the Black Sea during the war, because noise pollution from ship traffic, rocket launches, water pollution with oil products, all these has a negative impact on marine life. When active military operations at the sea started, scientists began to record cases of mass dolphins' death. The only solution to this catastrophe is to stop the war, and then it will be possible to explore the seabed and set up all problems. This disaster is also quite large scale and affects not only Ukraine but also other European countries. And this danger is very significant for the entire flora and fauna of the Black Sea. But I hope that in the nearest future, everything will be all right.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, environment problem is very important to think about. Thank you for sharing interesting topic. And please, Vlada.
I would like to talk more on gender issues. Probably I'll focus on issues in Ukrainian society. As nowadays, we cannot like tell that any of the countries in the world has achieved gender equality, but I believe that Ukrainian society, on its own example, has shown the progression and how the role of women in society can be much stronger. Yes, how women can showcase their strengths via volunteering, via being present in the army actually, and also serving in the army. How women are like they are here while like majority of men are fighting in the war. They still here to support all the other spheres of public life. And despite all of the challenges that we go through, I believe that the way that we view women is changing that in positive direction, and overall the world is going to like really view the women as equal to men, and this is a burning question in 21st century. And as we go towards equality and equality in a couple of decades, I believe that Ukrainian society also as a part of European countries, societies, has shown that example on its own. That's what I got to say.
Thank you. Yes, gender equality is also very important topic. Thank you. Anton, please.
Okay, so I mean, we are having a lot of challenges. I was thinking about it, and I could maybe single out a few things. Obviously, there are wars, climate change, all of that. But I would probably focus on one thing, and that is how our basically, in a way, dreams, beliefs have been shattered, and that we don't have a meaning, therefore we suffer. Globalization, in a way, is a curse and a blessing, because even though we get everything, we can connect, like right now. At the same time, we can see the news all around the world, good or bad. We get so much input, so much stimuli that it basically, in a way, hurts us. And even though we are the most connected we've ever been, we are the most lonely we've ever been. Depression is on the rise, mental problems are on the rise, and it causes a chain reaction, ripple effect. And first, I would rather talk about the cause. So right now we have a lot of junk information, a lot of junk stuff, and it's caused because of the way the huge corporations work. Right, at 2000 we had a huge boom of technology. We had new companies like Microsoft and others. And what is happening right now? Because imagine how they work. Basically, they're getting paid per views. They get paid per touches, per instant reactions, and that is not good, because it rewards not quality content. It rewards yellow press. It rewards bad press, press that only looks at sensational things, right? And it just clicks. There's no depth in it, and it causes a lot of misinformation and a lot of bad how would say dopamine reinforcement, because we click and we click and we click, and it doesn't lead to anything. It only makes everything worse, and it contribute. And the way to fix that, by the way, is to just make everything subscription based, because then companies will be paid, but for better things, right? For you staying on the platform, and it will also be. We can also remove some of the features, like what causes doom scrolling. Why we always scroll? Because there is infinite scroll. We can remove that. We can add a few features like, for example, adding some lagging when you're too invested, on the phone and you will drop it immediately. Because there is so little friction when you're using a technology that you basically can't fall back from it. And going back to that thing with loss of dream and vision, what it causes in a lot of things, because there was this notion in 1950s of American dream, for example. Now it's dead. You thought that you could go to university, get a job, get a family. It doesn't work anymore, right? You go to university, you find out that there are no jobs. You find out that everything needs experience. You leave university, you have no money. You want to try get a family, but you probably won't want to get a family because you don't have money, you don't have resources. It leads to things like not only depression, it leads to, if you don't have families, you don't have people. What we can see in South Korea, for example, right now, is in 100 years, South Korea will be extinct, basically. For one woman, there are 0.8 babies born. You can come to conclusions by yourself. And that leads to plethora of other problems, right? One people die, other get born, and basically that will eventually will overthrow our common the values of our society right now, and it will be replaced by others. So a lot of intelligent people die, they don't procreate. A lot of people from third world countries will basically reproduce like crazy, and it will just keep it going in the wrong direction. And so that's the problem we're having and seeing right now. And that thing about social media will also lead to death of democracy in a way, because what we see right now is that if we don't have enough, it will lead to us having shorter spans of attention. And if we don't have attention, we don't have ability to think deeply, we will think superficially. We won't be able to decide. And if we aren't able to decide, we aren't good members of society. And democracy works on the fact that it's people can do good decisions, make good decisions. And if we can't, we're finished.
Thank you. So we almost run out the time. So lastly, I want to Oreski to share your opinion. Then we'll, please.
Thank you. My topic for today's thing was regarding gender differences in suicides, and I'll quickly run through this because we are running out of time. Mostly, for every death that occurs for a woman from suicides, 3 other men have already taken their lives. You can see it in charts that men are more highly susceptible to suicides because there's a lot of pressure from the society on them to be independent, risk-taking, and so on and so forth. And to continue the point of the previous presenter, Anton, it's also likely due to the pressure of social media that people are just keeping themselves busy with the loop and the infinite scrolls, so much so that they aren't fulfilling their own desires and their own dreams. So due to that, we are seeing an increase in people not reproducing and just dying because of being either too sad, too tired, or too overworked. Thank you.
Thank you, Oreski. Sorry, we will extend our discussion a little bit longer. So, Vlad, can you, I think you later, so please share your ideas.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to say thank you to all the previous presenters on this topic. I think all of the contributions were really important, but I also would like to contribute with the one really important issue that I think we're facing right now in Ukraine, and this is the Kakhovka disaster. So basically the story, I think you might have already heard about it from the news because it was all over the world at the time. But so basically, on the night of June 6, 2023, Russian troops, they were occupying the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant at that time, and they basically blew up the plant, And this caused a massive disaster with flooding of large scale and large territories, yeah. And that in a way caused a lot of civilian death, that caused a lot of animal death, a lot of like different agricultural plants, and generally like buildings and other stuff were flooded and of course destroyed because of that. And yeah, and basically those are the things that lead to the long time consequences, yeah, because the consequences of this Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant disaster will be present even in like 20 years or 30 years or 50 years, because it takes a lot of time to get everything to normal. And I would also like to talk about the cities like Kherson or Nikopol that were basically dependent on that hydroelectric power plant with the water, yeah, with drinking water. So I think this is a really important issue at this point in Ukraine, even nowadays. So yeah, I think it's something to speak about. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And Katerina, please. Catherine, please.
Thank you very much. Today, for every Ukrainian, the most important issue of the 21st century is obviously the war. Thousands of broken lives, damaged houses, and forced immigration. And my native Lugansk has been under occupation since 2014 year. And I know that some people consider people from the east to be their enemies, but this is not true. Well, when you are forced to submit to the new government, intimidated, your identity is destroyed, and your ideals are imposed by propaganda. It is very difficult not to break down. It has been 10 years since the occupation, and many people have indeed submitted to the new regime. But there are also those who are still waiting for Lugansk and Donetsk to return to their true borders. And personally, I know people who believe and hope that one day this meaningless war will come to an end, and I am one of them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it's really hard to yeah. So thanks for today for sharing your wonderful opinions and ideas and your recommendations. I'm so glad to learn about it, and my dream one day I definitely wanted to visit Ukraine. So thank you a lot. I learned a lot from this seminar. Kasha, please.
Yes, I would also like to thank everyone who spoke today. There were many insightful comments, many interesting comments, many heartbreaking comments as well. And I think that this discussion has turned out to be very thought-provoking. It gave us a lot of new ideas and a lot to think about. So I would like to thank you for being a part of this today. And if our professors want to say some words, I would like to invite them. So Professor Nonaka Sensei, if you would like to tell us something at the end of our discussion, we would be very grateful.
Yes, thank you very much, Katja and Toko, and everyone for a very fruitful discussion. Yeah, I also hope that some of you will meet face to face someday and talk about our today's seminar. Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah. Okay. So, Olya-san, please give us your comments or opinion.
Thank you so much, dear participants of our scientific seminars, dear Professor Nonaka-san and dear Professor Lidya Vasilievna. I would like to say many thanks for the opportunity to develop our mutual cooperation, to change our knowledge, life and cultural experience. The series of our seminars was a bright page in the history of our universities. To my mind, it is very important for Ukrainian students in difficult times. And we have had unforgettable impressions from all reports, and I have liked our roundtable too. Thank you for your opinions and thoughts. Special thanks to Professor Nonaka-san and Japanese students for supporting Ukraine, for supporting each of us. And I suggest we gather all the reports and publish them in a joint collection of scientific papers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Olha-san. So, Lidya Sensei, please give your final comment.
Шановні колеги, дякую вельми поважному професору Сусуму Нонака-сан і шановній Ользі Миколаївні за чергове велике свято спілкування для наших студентів за організацію цього семінару.
Dear colleagues, dear Professor Nonaka-sensei, dear Professor Olha Nikolenko, I would like to thank you for organizing these seminars, for organizing this opportunity for our students to share their opinions and communicate.
Сьогоднішнє заключне засідання показало, що тем для обговорення наших студентів надзвичайно багато. І це вселяє надію на те, що цей семінар триватиме. І я бажаю успіху і шановним професорам, і натхнення нашим шановним студентам для того, щоб продовжувати такі гарні інтернаціональні діалоги. Дякую всім за надзвичайний гарний змістовний семінар.
This discussion has truly shown that there are lots of topics for our students to communicate about, and I would like to hope that these seminars will continue. So I wish everyone success and inspiration, and I hope to see you again.
Дякую всім нам, дорогі друзі, миру, спокою і найкращих, найвідважніших здійснених мрій. Всього найкращого.
Thank you. I wish all of you peace and quiet, and may all your dreams come true.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lidya-san. Okay, so I think we've had a very good meeting today. So let's keep in touch and see you again. Yeah, maybe next December, this year. Yeah, okay. So thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
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 Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Goodbye.
so much.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.